Alright, so we have a VAV here with heat, and it's got a few different issues. It lost the disconnect at one point, that fried. It does have SCR heat. The transformer ended up going out in it as well when everything else went. The disconnect has been fixed, but they were still having trouble with the heat, and that's when they found the transformer. And then the SCR control board also went out, which you can see right there. That transistor is fried, so we need to replace that control board. But what this does is you get 24 volts here, and then this the yellow and orange wire come from the building controller up there in the top corner, and that is sending a signal out telling this box how much heat it needs and is asking for. And so depending on the signal that the controller receives, it then outputs voltage on DC voltage on this purple and red coming into this SCR module. Now this SCR module is here to control the amount of heat output that the heaters have whenever they run. So they will adjust the heat to match whatever the load conditions are. One way to always know if you've got an SCR is you will always have a heat sink on the outside of your box. If you see one of these heat sinks, and they'll look different, this is a black one, you'll see a lot of them are just raw aluminum. You've probably got an SCR system without even having to open the panel. So one of the things we needed to verify, because that SCR control is extremely expensive, we're talking over $1,000 for that, but that little control module is fairly inexpensive. It just maybe $100, $200 tops, and on the high end it really shouldn't even be that. I need to verify it. Regardless, what we want to do is, we know that's bad, but we want to test the SCR, because if that's not bad, there's no need to replace it. So what I did here is I've got a signal generator set up. This is the one I use, and I'm going to generate a signal to tell the SCR to come on. Now first thing I want to do is make sure nothing is shorted across. So I have to manually engage this contactor to send power, because again, my transformer's dead, all my controls are dead. I close it, I got no amps going through it. Alright, and my control light is not on. Okay, so we know that. Our next step is, alright, let's give it a signal. Okay, so I'm going to ramp this up. I can give it up to 10 volts with this thing, DC. There we go. Alright, now let's engage the contactor. You see my green light comes on, and I start controlling voltage. Now you see how the amperage is dropping? That is because the SCR module is trying to match the output that the input voltage is asking for. So that's all that is. But with that test right there, and I just pulled the contactor off, but with that test there, I just confirmed that the SCR is fully functional. It's fine. It doesn't need to be replaced. The only thing that needs to be replaced is that little control board and the transformer. So that's going to cut this cost of this job by about 1/10 of the total price, considerably cheaper cost-wise. So anyway, I highly recommend, if you don't carry signal generators, I do recommend you get one. This is just a cheaper one. I do for field testing like this. If I tear it up, I really don't care. I got this off of Amazon. You can buy more expensive ones, and I do recommend that you do if you're doing more critical testing. I do not consider this a critical test. This is just a basic field test. So anyway, regardless, that's all it is. It's no more complicated than that. What this SCR does is it just controls the voltage going through it to control how much heat the heaters are actually outputting. It's no more complicated than that. You can go a lot more in depth if you want to, but just for a surface level understanding, that's what you got.